You are about to experience the result of hard work and dedication from the City of Champions, Cleveland's own, 90th's finest. Self-made, hard-working entrepreneurs, unequivocally raw, no holds barred. This is Epiphany Media.
I feel like you avoided this album title.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I mean what it says right here on the
I hate
title.
being bipolar. It's awesome. I have a theory about you, so tell me if this is correct. I feel like you feel like being bipolar is part of what makes you brilliant, part of what makes you you, and you embrace it.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things where people are like, how are you going to talk about it? The funny thing is, this is something I was like on the internet before. It was kind of funny, but it's not an opposite. It's not I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. It's actually, it drives more of how you really feel. It doesn't do an opposite thing. So I think it's important for us to have conversations about, open conversations about mental health, especially with me being Black, because we never had therapists in the Black community. We never approached like taking medication. And I think it's good that when I had my first complete blackout at age 5, my mom didn't fully medicate me because I might have never been yay. And there's times where at least I'm happy that I know, like even like for this interview, I knew I wanted to stay in a calm state because by the time I got to TMZ, I was ramped up. So what was awesome is that the world got to really experience someone in a ramped up state. And that's when you get these comments that just shoot out, like almost like Tourette's.
Because you have highs and lows. And when you have a high, you're on a roll. And when you have a low, you're not.
Well, there's some cases of bipolar where people go low. I'm one that goes high. Like Michelle Obama said.
So you don't have extreme periods of depression?
Oh, no.
No. Oh.
No. Because I just say it. I'll say on real TV, like, oh, I thought about killing myself, and then the thought is gone,
Wow. So all people need to do is get on TV. That's really the solution.
Well, they need to be able to express themselves without fear of judgment. What I love telling people is, like, who do you know? And let's go, especially Black men, but, I'm 41 years old, and I don't know anyone, that up as much as I have that's still as successful. So I want to prove that you can get fat, you can say the wrong things, you can piss a whole
and you
city
can be
off.
president of the United States.
Well, yeah.
Yo,
Easy.
what's going on, y'all? Thank you for joining us on another episode of Epiphany Media Podcast. I need to say a happy Sunday Eve. I was about to say it's actually Sunday, but it's in the evening. But yeah, thanks for joining us. That, of course, was Kanye West talking about his bipolar disorder on Jimmy Kimmel.
Hey, you can say what you want about Kanye West. He all right in my book. I was not rocking with him for the longest time until that documentary came out. I can't even lie. So I'm like, why is he acting so crazy? I really don't understand. What happened.
So I try not to call people crazy because you don't know what they're going through or what they've been through. But I can say that you're acting weird because weird is like a descriptor. You know what I'm saying? Like saying somebody crazy, like you are this. I don't like to do that. You know what I'm saying? But weird is like, that's a little weird. You know what I'm saying? That's a descriptor. I'm cool with that. So today we're talking about men's mental health. We have some, high profile people and experiences like Kanye West or whatever. We want to throw some of our, challenges and experiences in there. Hey, look, this is how I get Byron to open up. Pause. Is I gotta not tell him the stuff I'm gonna ask him. Just ask him live on air. Otherwise, he'd be like, "Man, I don't know. I don't know about that." I don't got no experiences like that. You gotta put a pressure on. Wait till the lights is on. That's how you gotta ask them questions. But yeah, man. So let's start with Kanye West. Let's start with and this ain't about the people themselves. It's about the mental health aspect of what these people, go through, and and how we can, use their experiences or whatever for, for our own good, or as a conversation piece to, express or expand our own thoughts.
Easy.
Hopefully we not, hopefully we don't offend nobody. Hopefully, we don't. I don't know. That's enough disclaimers, man. It's just our opinions. We ain't therapists. We're not counselors, but we people with, life experiences and thoughts and all that good stuff. So we want to share and communicate and talk about it here. And if you guys got any questions or comments, or of course, go ahead and throw them in the chat box section thing. I feel like I've been doing this forever. I don't know what it's called, the chat box or whatever. And we'll be sure to get to it. So let's jump in. Let's jump in with Kanye West and bipolar disorder, man. So, like I said, I don't like to call people crazy. You know what I'm saying?
But you call them weird.
I'm definitely calling them weird for some of the stuff that so because I believe that just because you have mental health challenges, whatever they may be, whatever your diagnosis is, that doesn't excuse you from being like an a-hole. One, you know what I'm saying, that don't excuse you for being, you're still responsible for the stuff that you do, you know what I'm saying, even if your mental health, like that's still you, you know what I'm saying?
It is, but if he's having a, what do you call it? Yeah, if he's having an episode, is that really him? Then,
but if your episode, if you have an issue, right? You have an issue, and you don't seek help, or you don't do the things that the experts, prescribe to you or whatever about doing, then yes, you're bringing it on yourself because you were looking for help or whatever. You found it, and they said take X amount of pills or take this or do this, meditate, whatever the case may be, and then you don't do it, or you do it in excess, or you don't follow whatever it is that the experts told you to do, counselor, therapist, whoever, then yeah, you are voluntarily, you're choosing to do something, that won't help you or whatever. Like you're choosing to not, do the things that could help you.
See, yeah, I agree with you when you said that you don't follow the experts' recommendations and you continue to have problems, then it's hard to show any sympathy because you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Because if you was doing what you're supposed to do, the episodes may not come, or they, they might come every once in a while. Nigga, from that documentary that I saw, he did not like taking his medicine at all. Like he was a frequent Hey, I think especially when he's in like album mode or something like that, that man don't take his medicine. He don't take it.
Yeah, and it's just hard for me to find sympathy with that. Now look, I'm not saying that everything that a doctor prescribe or every whatever, I'm not saying doctors are perfect either, where they like, oh, you got this, all you got to do is this, and it's easily fixed or whatever. Because doctors make mistakes, or it might be, this and that, and the doctor only caught one of the two. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that doctors are perfect, but if you don't even try or you don't give it a chance, you know what I'm saying, then I can't have any sympathy for you, no matter what the circumstances is. Like it's very difficult to have sympathy for, a person or something like that. For me, you know what I'm saying?
Especially if you're watching it on TV and everybody in the business, everybody know that you're not taking your medicine, and then they see what's going on in your personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because even with his personal stuff, and like I said, none of us know the ins and outs. Like we are, reading internet stories or whatever, are watching the TV shows, the Kardashian shows, and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So none of us really know or whatever, but when you're on the outside looking in and you exhibiting this behavior, but you're talking sensible about, you know, family or kids or whatever, like people looking like, well, which one is it? Like, you know, what is it? Like, do you want to be with your family or do you want to just be out here doing wild stuff all the time? Like, you know, because one is not conducive to the other. So what is it? What are we doing here? So therefore, you know, you're not getting the sympathy that you feel like you should deserve, you know what I'm saying, which could lead to more breakdowns, which could lead to more you know, stressors and stuff. And now you just in like a never ending loop of you know, bad decisions and thoughts and behavior.
Now in that Jimmy Kimmel interview, you see where he said that he had his first episode at 5, right?
Yeah.
So this been going on. This has been something that he's had forever, and he's made great music, you know, before it ever leaked out, you know. But when he had the tragic passing of his mom, then it was like he started, you know, drinking more, doing drugs, and me personally, I think that just made his symptoms worse. Because they said when he remember when he like passed out at a concert or something, he had to be rushed to the hospital or something. They said he was on pills and everything during that time.
Yeah. I get it, right? But I'm not gonna quote Cameron, but people die every day. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like people lose family members and stuff every day, and you don't see, for the most part, I guess, you don't see people completely spiraling. I'm sure there are people that do, and maybe he's just one of the people that do, and he just so happened to be Kanye West. So, you know, his life is kind of more on display than, you know,
the average person.
Yeah, Jimmy down the street or whatever. But I still, but then if you know that though, like if you know that, you know, you had your first episode at 5, then not only should you have been seeking treatment before then, and we ain't talking about Jimmy down the street that can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We talk about somebody who, I think his mom died. He had like 5 albums out before his mom passed or whatever, right? So this wasn't Kanye struggling to get on, you know, nobody's taking him serious Kanye. This was established star Kanye West who knew that he had issues but didn't want to, that chose not to, or whatever the case was, didn't seek to help, especially when something traumatic happened like losing your mom or something. Like, you know that you're susceptible to these things, whether it be addiction or whatever, you probably should be proactive in seeking help and stuff. But then again, that's me thinking. That's me. Like, if I'm a person that's, you know, ill, then I might not think like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, all right, the medicine may or may not work for him. I don't know, but what it is doing, what he said is doing is, he feels like it's, you know, making him lethargic. He can't be creative. Like, he has no energy. I can agree.
You said you can agree?
I can agree with that because, nigga, I've been taking Claritin. You know, the weather broke, spring is here. I'm sneezing. Taking Claritin every day, and I just been tired. Like, it makes you tired during the day. And we're just talking about allergy medicine.
Is Claritin the only allergy medicine?
Well, not Claritin, or is Zyrtec, Claritin,
whatever it is that you're taking, whatever it is that you're taking, is that the only one that's on the market?
But that's the only one that works for me.
Well, all right, that's over-the-counter stuff. What about prescription stuff?
It's the same.
What I'm saying is, there's other methods. Like, there's more than one way to do everything. You know what I'm saying? So if this medicine is not working for you, then there has to be another thing. There has to be another way. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this.
If you're allergic to penicillin, they don't just be like, hey, there's nothing we can do for you. You know what I'm saying? They're like, okay, we got amoxicillin, or you know what I'm saying, like just whatever medicine. Like medicine is so diverse these days.
But then you could be taking a medicine and they could say, well, this medicine has been proven to give you diabetes, so we're gonna switch you to something else. And that medicine could have been working. Now you're
Yeah,
on something else. Now
yeah.
it's not working and it's making you feel sick every day. So
No,
now you don't want to take it. You're like, no, I'm cool. I don't want to take it.
go back. Go. You know,
You
tell them
know?
you want to go back to the other medicine. Then
But then your doctor like, I'm not going to prescribe
get you a new doctor. You know what I'm saying? It's a million doctors in the country. Get you a new doctor. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Hey,
like
you know what? I changed my stance. I do sympathize with him not taking his meds, but I don't condone the action that he be choosing when he don't take his meds, though.
yeah, I can't. I don't know. I don't. And like I said, this is not about Kanye himself. This is just about people in general that don't do the things that they have the ability to do. If you choose to do something different or not to get help or whatever the case is, if you just can't get it, can't afford it, you know, whatever the case is, that's one thing. But if you choose or you make a choice to not get help, whether it's going to rehab, whether it's you know, doing whatever, like that's your choice. Like you're making that decision to do that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, to backpedal what you said, because you said something about, you know, you are aware of what you're doing in the action. I was like, well, no, if you're having an episode, you're not aware, right? But also, I think you're right too, because I know you've been downtown plenty of times. Been taking a stroll downtown, walking where you're going, and you seen people just
Hey,
talk, you know, just talking to no one, but having a conversation, right? And they're just walking down the street talking crazy. And you look at them, they look at you, smile, and then go back to talking crazy. So I
how
don't, I think they do it on, some of them do it on purpose too.
how many people have you seen? And look, and we're being very general. Let me be clear here. But how many times have you been on a bus and watched somebody be normal until they get on the bus and then they flip out? You know what I'm saying? So and now look, I don't know. And I'm not a counselor. I'm not I want to say a guardian. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not clinically anything. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be something like that you could be like, all right, get it together. You know what I'm saying? Get it together enough to get on the bus, or you know what I'm saying, whatever the case is. Like I had a guy that I work with, and he was working like the dish room or whatever. So he like all while doing the dish room, like everything is cool the whole time until it's time to clean up. You know what I'm saying? Now he don't feel good. Now he got to go lay down and all this stuff. Now I'm not saying that he doesn't have, you know, something going on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to like, come on, man. Every time, like this is the only time you get sick is when the cleanup time. Like it has to be something,
Playing
you
crazy.
know, some kind of control, you know, there. You know what I'm saying? I believe, in my opinion.
For certain situations, I can't
Yeah,
I can't speak for somebody who, you know, who's bipolar or whatever.
right. Like I said, I'm being very general. You know what I'm saying? Very general, and just talk about the people that I've come across, my experiences. Ebony J said, people don't change until it's not working for them. But sometimes they change before they even give it a chance, though. Before they even, you know, give rehab a chance, or before they give the medicine a chance. Like, you know, they like people think, just like like no offense, but like older people in computers, right? They expect you to click on something and then it just happens. Like it's a computer. Like it still takes time to load. Like stuff still has to process. Like everything is not an overnight thing where you just take a pill and then now you fixed or whatever. Like you have to it takes time. You know what I'm saying? And some people don't be, you know, patient enough to let things actually develop and become better. Ebony J said it's not always that simple. It can be a million factors. I said we be in general, but I mean the people that's get on the bus. How does that work though?
Say that last part again. I didn't hear.
The people that get on the bus, how does that work?
When they get off the bus, they write stop every time. But they talking crazy the whole time. I don't.
All I'm asking is how does it work? I'm not
Hey,
saying
hey,
they're doing
so
nothing. I'm just
look,
asking
if
how it
they
works.
having an episode, they hearing voices or whatever. I don't mean they forgot where they stop at.
Fair enough. Fair.
Like you seen people sleep the whole time on the bus, and then when they 2 stops away from they stop, they magically wake up every time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So if the sleeper can be aware, the person who's going through an episode they can be aware. But most definitely taking your medicine is your first step. Now I've met people who told me like medicine don't work for them. Like whatever they try all the different medicines they can take for their condition did not work. So that's not
No,
always so they follow the
I
doctor, what the doctor
yeah.
said, but it's not working for them. So what other things they can do, to try to help that? Maybe therapy, I guess. Talk to somebody.
So right. So we're gonna get more into I guess stuff to help or whatever a little bit later, but for sure. But that's what I'm saying. But it has to be something. Like you can't tell me that there's nothing to what I'm saying. And sometimes you got to be unorthodox. You got to think outside of the box for things that might help you specifically. But it might not be medicine. Like I'm clearly whatever here to say that it might not be medicine. It might not be a prescription. It might not be the more traditional, Western sciences, as they say. Like it could, but you don't know until you give it a shot. Just like anything, like you don't know if you're going to fail at a task. You know what I'm saying? If you don't give it a shot, like with anything, you know what I'm saying? Um, so I think, and just to bring it back to men, I think that. Wait, I want to read this by Ebony J first. He said, but for them, they don't need rehab because they're getting the outcome that they want. So you're absolutely right. I thought you meant it in a different way, but you're right. Like it's what that person wants. Like that, if they want help, then they'll seek help. Like what I'm saying, if they want to get better, then they will. So you absolutely right, Ebony J. If the person is doing drugs, they don't need rehab because they're not seeking rehab. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not seeking help or whatever. And it's easier said than done. And I don't want any things, stating out, it's just easy to do all this stuff that we're talking about, but we're just having a conversation about it. And it can be like just a million different factors. But anyway, as far as getting diagnosed, I think that men have a hard time with that anyway because men have a hard time going to the doctor. Like we have a hard time to go get checked up, like we talked about in our show a couple weeks ago. Like so, not only for mental health but for physical health. Like niggas just don't go to the doctor. Like
Hey, especially
don't
with especially with mental health. Like who? How can you tell your friends, hey, I got an appointment with a therapist today. And first of all, they ain't real friends. If
yeah,
like, first of all, they ain't real friends if they think it's a problem with that. But I'm saying it's hard for people to even say they going to the doctor, a regular doctor.
yeah.
Like, I'm just getting a checkup, But for you to have the courage to be like, you know what, I need to talk to somebody about the problems that I'm going through in my life is.
Like, what would you say if I or somebody, one of your friends, called and was like, hey, you know, can you recommend a good therapist or like, hey, any counselors or
That has
like, hey,
happened.
I need help.
That has happened.
What was your
Uh,
response?
I gave them the information that that they needed. Um, yeah,
So
yeah. They came with me and they was having problems about a certain situation, and they didn't have I guess they thought they had to have insurance for this, but I was like, nah, you can go through such and such and still get the help that you need. And I gave them the information. I don't know if they ever went. I didn't like follow up with it because I'm like, I don't want to be all in their business like that. But I gave them the information.
No, I get that, but you probably should though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't like that's not the thing. That wouldn't be the thing that to be bad or to be not nosy about. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I know I asked, or I know I like asked that, did you go yet or whatever, but I didn't like pry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be.
Sensitive subject.
I've never had it happen to me, but nigga, I would be the complete opposite way. Nigga, I would be like inherently, I'm not nosy. I'm whatever people want to share, they'll share. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, that's just how I think. But if somebody actually made the call, like, hey, I'm wilding or whatever, like, nigga, I need help.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all in. Like, I'm diving in to find out. You know, because you just never know what that person is. Like, so I need to at least find out, make sure, especially if you're one of my guys. Like, I need to make sure that you're at least stable in this moment. You know what I'm saying? I would absolutely double triple check. You know what I'm saying? Even like when you was going through your experiences a bunch of years ago, like
I knew you was I knew you was gonna find some
I wasn't even
to blend it
in. I wasn't even gonna go there until and just so happened that question came up. But I'm not even gonna get into it, but we were so young at the time that I could have, did something or said something, even not to you, to somebody. I could have did something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I was 23 or 22 or something. I ain't have no idea. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on. I took it as, hey, look, you know how black people are. You know what I'm saying? Especially black males, and you young at that stage. I took it as, hey, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if that's how you want to be, fuck that nigga then. But like sometimes I do think about, or like when I listen to like some of your music or whatever, I think back like, damn, nigga, all I had to do was not be so no, like all I had to do was not be so hard. You know what I'm saying? And I could have like, oh, this nigga might need some help, or so like this nigga, I could make a phone call. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, but I was just so young, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Like I remember the whole experience like it was yesterday. So like
Me too. Me too.
I don't forget
I
nothing.
swear.
So you came over for the Epiphany radio show. It was the radio day. And nigga, I'm just going off. I don't know. It was a wild experience. I ain't gonna get into too many details. And nigga, you the whole time you ain't say not one word.
When the music was playing and we was or like, so for those of you that don't know, the whole format used to be we'd play music, and then while the music playing, we'll be like kind of off air. We'll be talking about the next stuff we want to talk about, blah blah blah. And then when the music fades, we'll come back in and talk, and go back to music or whatever. Nigga, it was quiet. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it was very silent in that room. You know what I'm saying? Like quiet,
to you?
Man.
To you?
Oh yeah, to me, yeah. Quiet, nigga. I'm thinking like, man. Nigga, soon as the show over, like I'm out, like you know what I'm saying, like, and we usually sit around and chat or talk or like, man, good show, or we could do this or ideas or whatever. Like that last show though, niggas like it was just you could feel it, like you know what I'm saying, you could just feel something off in the room or whatever, and so go ahead. I don't want to just so go ahead from your perspective.
Yeah, the next time I see you was at the hospital and shit.
Yeah, nigga, because it didn't like even so. All right, so I'll fill in a gap from that. So like your parents was calling me like, "Hey, you talked to Byron?" I'm like, "No," you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't know what we have been going through, but I'm like, no, I haven't talked to him, since Friday or Monday, whatever day the show was on. Like, I haven't talked to him at all. Like, I don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I know your parents for forever. Like, I was a little kid, you know what I'm saying, when we started hanging out and stuff. So, but I was just so removed from, our situation that, I wasn't, and I was so young, like, I wasn't calling, checking up, like, you was off, you good, like, there was none of that, you know what I'm saying, just being young and not knowing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going off the za.
Nigga, I don't know how the hell you stayed woke so long in that damn hospital. This nigga just kept was like, man, don't let him close that door. I'm like, what are you talking about? Don't let him close the door. Like, the door is wide open. It's not like it was cracked. Like, the door is wide open. Like, nigga, don't let him close the door. I'm like, what? Man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all this time though, I never the lead up to that. That was the whatever you want to call it. That was the incident or whatever. But the lead up, you know what I'm saying? If I had knew better at the time, or if I or we had been exposed to, mental health stuff at the time, it possibly could have been different. You know what I'm saying? Before it even got to that point is what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to harp on the situation, but just saying, it's something that we don't talk about like that. So in our community, so
especially at that time,
nigga, so we don't know.
Nigga, right? you didn't know what was going on. Of course, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So, yeah, but now I look back on things and I'm like, look, like these rappers lie to you.
Big.
Hey, fuck everything that they saying. Don't all that gangster shit they be talking, whatever they talk about. Take that shit is false. It's for them. It's not for you.
Exactly. Right? It's entertainment. Exactly.
It's entertainment. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how much I want to get into the situation. Now, the situation is hilarious and not funny at the same time to me, because I went through it. I know all the specifics about what I was thinking at the time, but I'm not gonna say it on Epiphany Media. We're gonna have to be getting paid. If we do this again, I'm gonna have to be getting paid to say that. But what I will say is after everything happened, I was like how my first thought was how is this possible? For the first month after I got out of the hospital, it's a blur because I was on those Kanye meds. So I don't remember what happened. I would just remember being asleep all the time, tired, sleepy, I didn't want to do nothing. That's all I really remember. I remember going out kicking it with a friend, and we went to the movies or something. And I just couldn't drink because of the medicine. And I'm like, man, I hate this medicine. I hate how it's making me feel, that's why I say, yeah, I understand about not taking that medicine because it ain't, it's not, I don't know, you don't feel like yourself. I gained 50 pounds off the medicine, right? Coming from somebody who always worked out, stayed in shape, now I'm 50 pounds overweight. I don't have any motivation at all. I don't want to do anything. Yeah, so it's just, I understand. And so then at the same time, you start the therapy or whatever, and try to figure out, what was going on, whatever. And the therapist's like, hey, out of all the people I see, nothing is wrong with you. I mean, you just can't be off the eye anymore. So, after I got past, then our conversations turned into just the, regular therapy sessions because that's not even her words anymore because, it was just a one-time occurrence or whatever. And, talked to her for a year. You talked about some other stuff, and I'm cool. It hasn't happened since, but it's I don't know. That was just a crazy experience.
Yeah. So that whole time, we wasn't in contact, so I didn't know. I think your parents told me when you came out, when you got out of the hospital or whatever, and then I think I might have heard from you one time or something. He was asking about your guns or something like that. I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. But then that was I think that might have been the last conversation we had, and that was even a text conversation for years and shit. So yeah, I can so just like we was talking, on our last episode. For those of you that didn't see it, it was pre-recorded. It wasn't live, but our last week episode we was talking with a Marine veteran, and he was talking about some of his struggles. But you got a perspective like that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? So not only because of the stuff that you've been through, but even going to counseling. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never been to counseling or anything like that. So
Right.
you got a valuable, like experiences to pull from. So not only for this subject, but to help others or whatever case. Like you got experience in that if you dive into it to not here, but just in general. When you got experiences that you can tell people that you can relate to, to kind of make them feel like they ain't the only people that go through stuff.
Like that's what I be saying. Like it's cool, you just going to talk to somebody. Like you can talk about whatever. Like you don't have to talk about. You don't have to go there on your first counseling session and talk about all the traumas that you had in your life in that first hour. Like,
if/when, because I'm not opposed to it, but like I'm like, man, I'm gonna send them our childhood trauma episode as a pre, a pre thing. Like, watch this to get the backstory of my childhood trauma, and then when I get there, we can start talking about, you up to speed now. That's my childhood stuff.
So I mean, that's why I'm not opposed to it. Like, but
yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's I don't know. I don't have the experience, and I'm not saying like I wish I did, but I'm sure that can be a traumatic, type thing. But like I said, it is definitely like an interesting perspective that you can help people with or whatever if you choose to do so. How do you feel about have you ever, not just with that situation, but like have you ever felt like you couldn't control yourself, you know what I'm saying, or like you lashing out any type of way?
No, never.
No? Not even like violently?
No, like what do you mean? Like, are you talking about that specific situation, or are you just talking about in general?
It's in general, just as a man,
No,
like
so that I
expressing
couldn't
yourself.
control my emotions. No.
Yeah, because so some guys or males or whatever can't. We tend to hold stuff in, bottle it up until it comes out as something extreme. You know what I'm saying? You ever had any like violent lash out? Just in general, not about that situation. Just
With violent lash outs, no.
no. Hey, sometimes you gotta get violent, man.
I don't believe in violence as the reaction to violence. For me, I just couldn't connect to violence being the answer. Love had to be the answer.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get violent, man. Hey, sometimes love is not the answer. You gotta get violent. No, clearly that was just a build up to the Will Smith Chris Rock situation, whatever.
I agree and disagree.
That's funny.
Sometimes it's time to get violent. Sometimes you might just have to bite the bullet sometimes in certain situations.
So Angel asked me, have I ever had a violent lash out? Never. Never, not even close. Like honestly, like not even, I've never been close to like myself or anybody that was like around me. Never. Like, I've never even had like the thought. I don't think. Like I've not even close for me. I've never had a violence.
Look, I'm a peaceful person.
I don't raise my voice. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a peaceful person. Like you get into it with people, but you just got to be calm and try to de-escalate the situation. Because doing all that yelling just it's just worthless.
Exactly. It has no point. Now I'm very logical. Um, Therefore, it takes away from my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll have situations, whatever, where I remove feelings from it because I'm so logical. And I'm not saying it as a good thing or a bad thing, but that is what it is. You know, so even in like relationships, like sometimes I'm so logical in my relationships, you know what I'm saying, that I forget that there's actual feelings and stuff there involved, you know what I'm saying, that complicates things. Like it's not super black and white, even though that's just how my mind works. Like either it is or it ain't. Like there's no real middle ground, but that's not true in relationships. And I don't mean like just like romantic relationships, like in friendships and in you know business relationships. Like it's never just black or white. Like you have some, even if it's a small bit, but there is some nuance there. You know what I'm saying?
Like with the Jada and Will situation, I mean, when the joke was said logically in his brain, oh, it was a joke.
Yeah, right.
But when he looked at her,
yeah,
feelings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His feelings. Oh, I see my wife hurt. Now I got to react in a violent way,
right.
on TV, on international television.
Right. Now I know some of y'all might be thinking that Will Smith, Chris Rock stuff is old, but it happened right after we went off air. Then we had a week off, and then we had a recorded show. So we're a couple weeks behind in talking about, you know, stuff that popped up or whatever. But
it's not, no, that's forever. Like that's something that you not like you could just forget about. It ain't like you know, some stuff will be over in a week, whatever. Nah, people will be talking about this forever. Like his career is drastically changed off of one thing. Some man who did positivity for the last 30 years.
Yeah, one thing.
One thing. You haven't heard anything bad about this man doing anything wrong. He slap a man, not beat a man down, not pummel him. He slapped a man, open palm, open palm, smack this man. And his life has changed forever. So no, this is not going anywhere. But if we just using this as an example for men who can't control their anger, you know, because it's especially with men, like if somebody start talking crazy to you, your immediate reaction is like, we gotta fight.
So
immediately, like that's like we're fighting. You say something disrespectful to me, like
it's a good point. It's a very good point.
There's no back and forth.
So sticking with Will for right now, like I don't want to say like, have you ever had like a situation that was similar where you felt like you had to, like, you know, defend the honor of your lady or whatever, but what do you think, like, mentally at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was he going through mentally? Now, you know, so let's keep it. Did you read his book? Did you say you read his book or something?
No, I never read it. I haven't read his book. I watched his thing on YouTube when he was trying to lose like 25 pounds or something.
So people was talking about the book, talking about, you know, how he says something to the words of, I felt like a punk my entire life, or his stepdad or some with his mom or whatever. He felt like a punk at some point of his life. He felt like a punk. And at some point, Jada talked about having alopecia or whatever. But let's keep it separate. Let's say you didn't know any of this stuff. Like I didn't. I didn't know she had alopecia. I thought, like, well, look, women just shave their head sometimes. Like I was supposed to know.
I just thought that was her new thing. She always had a short cut forever.
When she was peaches, she was the queen of the short cut. Like maybe Halle Berry, but same thing though. Yeah. So but let's keep it surface of like not knowing any of that stuff. Like just what do you think was mentally going on? Like at the time of the joke or whatever.
Well, if this man just wrote this book where he told the whole world how he felt like a punk and how he felt like he got to fight for his family, you know, be the protector of his family. His wife just had a show talking about, how she feel about her hair, This is nationally known. The writers of the Oscars take that stuff and write it about you. Knowing you're gonna sit in the front row. They already know you're getting an award.
Right there. Sitting right there.
They write this stuff. His frustration shouldn't have been taken out on Chris Rock though. That was the wrong person to take it. He just, saying what the teleprompter is saying, telling them to say.
Right. I agree with that completely.
Now, let me ask you this. This is a hypothetical question. I'm Chris Rock. You Will Smith. I know you and your old lady. Your old lady, got a problem with buying too much shit at the store or something. And I make a joke about it live on stage. And I'm knowing this. We kick it all the time. I make a joke on stage and you look over and see her crying.
Hey. Now look. Now am I me as logical me, or am I me as an emotional Will Smith? You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's because for me, if it's me as in me, I got a theory for like comedians. I've always had comedians, non-comedians, stuff that's supposed to be funny. I don't have any problem with you talking about like how fat I am or how dark I am or whatever, as long as it's funny. Now, granted, the G.I. Jane joke wasn't funny, you know what I'm saying? But for like Oscars, it was an Oscars joke. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a D.L. Hughley, I'm about to rip the crowd joke. You know what I'm saying? It was an Oscar funny joke. So I don't have any problem with any joke, comedian or otherwise, as long as it's funny. Like, but it actually has to be like I'm making a joke. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, trying to be hurtful or whatever. So you, being my guy, you automatically going to get the benefit of the doubt because why would you say something hurtful to me? You my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if I'm emotional, Will Smith, you know what I'm saying? If I'm emotional, then I can see being conflicted in that moment. Like, yeah, I did laugh and it looks bad and my lady is not laughing. That's not, you know what I'm saying? I can see the conflict and now I feel like, but I wouldn't hit somebody, not in that situation. If you want to walk up and say, hey, my wife's dealing with something serious, don't joke about it. You know what I'm saying? Please don't joke about it or demand it, don't joke about it. Cool. No issue.
But if mentally you're unstable.
Yeah. So, right.
Hey, because especially men, it's like a switch that go off where you go from just calm to like it's crazy.
I've had experiences where I've had to ramp up to matches. I wouldn't say match somebody's gangster, but also like nigga, if you want to take it there, we can. Like I've had to go from 0 to 100. Like nigga, whenever you're ready, you know what I'm saying. With the lady I was talking to at the time, like in like a part of this, but it never. For me though, I'm more methodical. For me, so I wouldn't like. It would have to be. I'm not a you got to punch first or any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make a significant move. You know what I'm saying for it to get physical. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's not going to get to that point, then it's all conversation, which is fine, but it's meaningless, as you pointed out earlier in the show. Like ultimately, like the talking stuff is meaningless. Like it's just words. Like who like I don't know you. What do I care what you say about anything? You know what I'm saying? Why would I care?
Hey, but it's the disrespect though. Like it really ain't even the words; it's the disrespect. Like, can you get over the disrespect?
Now, disrespect is something I have a real issue with. Like, and it's something that I have. Now, granted, I don't get disrespected often. Just for whatever reason, I'm just gonna leave it at that. For whatever reason, I don't get disrespected often. So I don't have to practice like I did when I was younger. Even then, I wasn't getting disrespected, but it's just different or whatever. but disrespect is something that I personally have an issue with. Like I have an issue with authority. Like, you know, there's certain things disrespect is something I can't take. That's why jokes, as long as it's jokey, I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? But when you start getting disrespectful, which I don't believe Chris Rock did in this situation, you know what I'm saying? But you know, in this day and age, not just black women in their hair or whatever, like women are just, I mean, everybody is just sensitive when you comment about appearances, you know what I'm saying? Good or bad, you know what I'm saying? You're like, man, you are beautiful. You're like, oh, don't look at me, or you know, whatever. I don't know. I just made it up. But
They say
good or
don't look
bad,
at me,
though.
but then they Instagram they got 3,000 likes.
2000, yeah, exactly. So I don't think it was that situation specifically. I don't think it was disrespect. Personally, I do have an issue with disrespect, man or woman. Like disrespect is, I have an issue with it for sure. No question about that. So let's talk about the other side of it though. Everybody was like, man, Chris Rock didn't. Chris Rock just stood there, took the slap, and this and that. And I know personally, I said, if Will Smith ever slapped me like that, I would have broke his neck. Like I would have suplexed him. Like I would have Stone Cold Stunner this nigga on stage and broke his neck or something. You know. But what about you know, like the Chris Rock point of view? So that, of course, is Chris Rock talking to Nate Burleson, who somehow became a reporter after leaving the NFL. But talking about him and his mental, deficiencies or whatever. So, like after hearing that, and I think he did a couple more interviews in regards to it. So it's not. I forgot what did they just say it was. Nonverbal communication cues,
like nonverbal. Like he's not good at nonverbal communication cues.
Right. So so after hearing that and hearing other interviews about him and his situation, I can see why, you know, and he said, verbally, I'm good. I can listen, I can talk. So being a stand-up comedian, that would make sense or whatever. But when it's a physical altercation and that's something that you struggle with, that's his mental, his thing that he needs, his mental health issue. I can see why you just stand there because like, I don't know what to do. Like this is, I'm frozen or whatever the symptom is. Like so, it makes sense to me after finding out more information of why, potentially, I don't want to say guaranteed, but potentially why he didn't move or why he didn't do anything to protect himself or whatever the case may have been. So everybody looked at the Will Smith side of it and how negative it was for black men and some women's like, oh, I have a problem, he defended his family, blah blah blah. But it's two sides to every story. So what about the Chris Rock side? Like, what about him being bullied, side? What about his mental learning, his mental health issue that he's dealing with? Like a lot of people put that kind of on the back burner or whatever. They just looked at the part that sent Will Smith over the top instead of the victim in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about
Jada most definitely wasn't the victim.
Nigga, right. Not a weak ass joke. You know what I'm saying?
What do I think about what? I'm sorry.
So just what do you think about Chris Rock's role, like beyond the joke, but even his mental health in that situation, in the slap situation.
Beyond the joke, that could be a topic for a new show.
Yeah, beyond the joke, I like it.
That's the next special. Hey, but man, because my first instinct was like, why would he just let him smack him like that? Then go back to his seat and just cool with it. But like now I see like he just was. First of all, he's probably shocked that even happened because that probably
for sure.
never happened. The amount of wild stuff that he say He never been smacked for it.
Nobody
That's
ever.
why he was like, it was a
Yeah.
G.I. Jane joke, dude.
Right. And right, he was like, it wasn't a joke about alopecia or about being bald, nigga. It's about G.I. Jane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the joke was about. You know. So you're right. I'm sure he never had nobody rush the stage, all the stand up he was done. But it's just another side of mental health that some people like that we just don't talk about often. You know what I'm saying? Especially when, you have people that's so boisterous about it, like a Kanye West or even so like a lesser extent, like a Pete Davidson or whatever. But the stuff that's easily dismissed as, especially in the black community, like, oh, he's soft. You know what I'm saying? he this or he that. You know what I'm saying? It's just so easily dismissed that, we don't even think about it as, how much of a victim that we all are when we grow up in, like environments that we did or worse, for that matter.
Right. He went to private school, but he stayed in the hood, just like everybody else. But that initial smack, like, shocked him. Like, how would you feel when Muhammad Ali smacked you?
I don't know. I don't know. I would look. That's a good point, because I would be so stunned. Like, should I be honored that it was Muhammad Ali? You know what I'm saying? Or, but if we talking about Will Smith as Serena and Venus' dad, I'm breaking his neck. That's what I'm doing. I don't know, man. I feel like, and look, and there's nothing wrong with being emotional. Let me just rewind a little when I was talking about emotions and facts and logic. There's nothing wrong with being emotional, but I think people forget that we're talking about like one of my favorite jokes is like self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff that's controlled by yourself, you control it. That's why it's called self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? Like you are, and I feel like feelings, emotions in general, you shouldn't let them control you. Like, you should be in control. And I get that. I guess it's not always possible, or it's more difficult, or whatever the case is. But I don't know, man.
But imagine being, how old is Will Smith? Like 40 something? They're in their 50. He might be 50.
He Will Smith got to be at 50. I think he did bungee jumping for his 50th or something. Well, Chris Rock's like 55-ish, 57-ish.
But imagine being that old and you don't have your emotions in check.
Absurd.
There's people that just did some wild shit in the street growing up based off emotions, and they got older and they just it's not even worth it. I'm just gonna let them talk. It's not even worth it. I'm gonna go on with my day because they ain't even about shit.
Man,
especially when you're gonna smack fire out of somebody.
But and that's what I'm saying. Just go back to like the Kanye situation. And like, if you know that that's an issue for you, you're Will Smith. Like, you have unlimited resources when it comes to seeking help, getting help. You can have
that man has a therapist.
That's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have enough money to have your own personal therapist, as in a person that can be on call for you, you know what I'm saying, when you need that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, your therapist, literally, not your and his and her and his therapist. This is your therapist. Like, you have that type of money or whatever. So to let something get you into the mind state that you have to devolve until it has to be a physical altercation. There's no other way for me to express myself than to be physical is ridiculous to me. That's another thing where I have a hard time feeling sympathy for people who do stuff like that when you have the resources. You know how many people, and I'm asking this rhetorically, you know how many people live life every single day without any resources. And I mean, mentally, whether it's, good, fresh food or whatever the case is, like they grow up without, family support, you know, amenities that we take for granted. You know how many people grow up with that stuff, grow up or live currently with that stuff? Yeah, you have all the resources and you don't take advantage of it, or you get to the point where something is able to control you. Like black people that flip out, and I'm not happy about it, but black people that flip out when a white person say nigga or something, right? Mm-hmm. Nigger, whatever. Like, for you not to be able to
but that's that disrespect though.
No, I'm not saying that your actions should be nothing, but I am saying that if you feel like your only result is to make it physical, then like, you lost it somewhere. For me, you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully you get to the point, hopefully everybody gets to a point where, it could be sticks and stones again. You know what I'm saying? It's just words, man. They have no bearing. That person doesn't control how you eat, live, or make money. It has nothing to do with anything. You can ignore it.
I agree with you. It's just words, but that word is a trigger word for many.
No. I'm not saying there should be nothing. let me be clear. I'm not saying that I would have no reaction, but I am saying that if physical is the only reaction that I have, I went wrong somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's and look, this is just my opinion. So you feel differently, I completely understand. So let's let me see. So do you have like a go-to person that you can go to, like, to talk to, like when you need like help or when you're going through something like mentally challenges or whatever? Like, do you have a go-to person? Do you have like a I don't know, like what do you do? What do you do when you just like going through it mentally?
I like to be alone.
You like to be alone?
It's peace, quiet, not having to worry about anything. I don't know, relaxes me. It's like a reset. But if I need to talk to anybody, more like my wife.
That's good. No, I'm not trying to, disrespect here. Because your wife, your partner, whatever, should be your number one friend. That should be your real best friend and shit. So you should have, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. But as we've seen with some of the wives that watch our show, that shit ain't always welcome. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't be wanting to hear that whining, crying all the time. I don't want to say no names, but yeah, sometimes the women that watch our show, and we have a sympathy for that. But that's super cool. I don't have anything like on the opposite, but that's super cool if your wife creates that place for you to be, like creates that safe space for you. You know what I'm saying? To be able to come and talk to her mentally. It's not that way for everybody though.
Be honest, who do you call when you are at your lowest? Who is that one person?
Nobody. I'm a man. No one cares.
Not a single soul. Nobody.
No one. Because I'm all alone.
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I don't call anyone.
Nobody. I'm a guy. Nobody gives a shit.
Speaking for the guys when I say this, literally no one.
Y'all call someone?
Nobody. Just nobody. Got no one to talk to, so nobody. Who cares? Nobody.
No one. I'm a man.
Hey, notice how I said, I like to be alone.
Now I agree. I agree with you. I typically, typically I would be alone. I'd be by myself. Or music becomes my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm leaning heavy into music. For me personally, but clearly it's not that way for a lot of people. Now, look, this is the internet, so those could just be some lonely niggas. Like you know what I'm saying? They could just be, you know, just lonely. It's just them or whatever. But if you have people in your life and you still don't have someone that you can go talk to, like, I think that's when it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes an issue. Now, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be your wife or that it couldn't be, whoever or whatever, but to have somebody, to go through. Like everybody don't have a wife, I guess is what I'm saying. So
right. If I was a single man,
yeah, like you just deal with it, just sit in the house.
Deal with it. That's when you throw back that whiskey.
And more liquor. Those days. I remember those days. But that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? That's the fucking worst, to have friends and not be able to lean into them, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're at your lowest or whatever, for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Whether you don't like, where you're not comfortable being vulnerable, whether it's, nobody ever showed you, y'all never had those conversations. That's a fucking terrible feeling, though.
But the crazy part is, you know your man's going through something. Like he just tell you something like just personal, like something that okay. Usually we talk about sports and etc. Right? So he just break off and start talking about like his life, what's been going on. Like something is serious going on. But I respect it. It ain't like I make fun of it, nothing like that. But it's like, he going through something. If he decided, if you as a man decide to talk to another man about your problems, like, he's going through something.
I agree. So I was saying earlier that I never experienced a friend calling me saying like they just need somebody to talk to, or like, can you help me find a therapist or anything like that. But I have had experiences when people call, and typically, look, now women get a good amount of the blame for it. Like women, because it might start like that's an easy transition typically for conversation to be talking about whatever. And you're like, man, this is it's funny. This is the call I usually get. It's like, man, so and so gonna make me kill her. Like that's just the transition. Like, damn, for real, what y'all got going on? And then it's just, and look, I don't even, and I have a bad time of being like a problem solver. So whether it's in, just people around me, I want to help. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to actually help, with whatever situation. But sometimes people just be needing the ear or whatever, right? But that's usually the intro. So and so person gonna make me kill him. I'm like, damn, for real, what happened? And then it goes to a whole thing, and then from there they branch off into like, yeah, man, this job is fucking killing me or whatever, and XYZ is bothering me. My niece did this, or whatever the case is. But I have and do experience those calls, and sometimes I have a bad time, I have a hard time just listening and not trying to help fix. Like, damn, well, have you tried this? Have you thought about this? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want my my people going through it or whatever. So I like to be that one person, that people can call and lean on, or like, man, let's go hit the bar because, XYZ, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's go hit the lounge or whatever for XYZ, cool. You know what I'm saying? I like being that one call. But on the flip side, and my aunt asked me this recently, she like, I noticed, and it's, nothing I complain about because it's just my role in my family or whatever, like we talked about before. But my aunt asked me, she's like, you listen all the time when I call and my daughter call and you listen to her issues. And I know your mom called and you listen to her issues. Like, who do you call? She's like, who do you call when you're going through? I'm like, nigga, Tidal? You know what I'm saying? Like, I call Tidal and listen to music. You know what I'm saying?
And you can always find that perfect song for whatever you're going through.
Look, that's wherever I'm at. I usually dwell there, and then it'll branch me to something that starts to build me out. I might take a whole evening to do it, but that's just how my process works. And it's not that I don't have people in my life that I can call, call and talk to, like my chick or my friends or whatever. Like I have people that I can call, but it's just not a process that I'm comfortable with, I suppose, just because I haven't had that practice. I haven't had that. I'm always the problem solver. So I'm the listener. That's my role. I've been playing for so long. So to have it where it can switch and potentially switch is it's just new for me. Even at 31, it's just new to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you 31? That's a lot.
Hey, I was listening to some old shows and you like, nigga, I'm 30. I'm like, damn, 30? Like, so it's just new for me. Even at 31, it's new for me to play that role of not victim is what I'm gonna say. I don't mean victim, but just like Robert, I actually have people, and that it's okay. Like reminding myself that it's okay to share, X, Y, Z. That's why, a show that we talked about a long, long time ago. I try to tell my people like, hey, and I mean family, of course, but my friends, like, hey, I love you. Get home safe. Whatever. I care about your mental health, or whatever the case is. We had a whole show about it. You know what I'm saying? Talk about how guys just don't say that shit like to your friends. Like, all right, man, you might say get home safe or stay dangerous or whatever the case is, but I'm like, all right, man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler at you tomorrow or whatever. Like, it just don't happen. It's like, but so that thing I try to that's my stigma that I try to change. You know what I'm saying? Of reminding myself like, hey, you got people you can talk to if you want to talk to those people. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to tell your guys that you love them. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's my stigma that I got to break down for me.
Hey, so I remember, I got two things to say. First, I'm gonna say, first of all, you got to be a strong person to be able to listen to everybody else's problems.
Nigga.
People be telling you some wild stuff. You taking the time to listen to them, but you come to you. Not only do you got everybody else's problems inside of you, or you can't even say what you need to say. Vent to other people. So I most definitely feel you on that though, because people would just be telling me, I don't know what it is. People just want to tell me shit. So that's cool.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just like, man. And then no, let me just, that's my disclaimer. Every once in a while, and my sister, I think she left now, but every once in a while, like we'll talk. Like it's just a role. Like, so as soon as we get on the phone, she just goes into whatever she's dealing with, and I'm fine with that because that's just been the role that I play. Every once in a while, it's not a knock to her. It's just like I said, I'm just talking facts or whatever. Like every once in a while, she's like, "So what's going on with you?" You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on in your world? And I'm like, oh well. The last time I saw it, it's been 3 months since the last time I've had a chance to expel my part. So I had this, and this happened, and I started a new job. Like, that's usually the big thing. I just don't be telling people I be at new working places, even you included. I'm like, I thought I told you. Like, nigga, you never told me one time when you started a new job. Like, oh,
it's good that you private about certain things, but nigga,
hey.
nigga, like hey, so I remember, you was working at the hotel, right? And I like one of the guys you was following on Instagram or something. So I knew what hotel you worked at, but you never told me. And one day I just popped up on you. That nigga was like, how the fuck you know that? Nigga, I know. That's the only way I'm gonna know.
Hey, it don't even be that I be trying to be secret. It's just like Like, we work like it's a job, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, a glorious or glamorous job. This last one was pretty good. Like my sister was like, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go down I gotta go down I gotta go down the main campus. She's like, for what, an interview or something? I'm like, an interview. I took her picture, just like tapping to my badge, like the new badge or whatever. She's like, I can't believe you didn't. This was like this week, like it was like a couple of days ago. This was yesterday. So like, what, you got an interview down there? I'm like interview, and I did like send her a video tapping the badge or whatever. And she's like, I can't believe you didn't tell me, like this and that. So so every once in a while, like I get a chance to, like I said, I'm not knocking nobody, but it's just I get a chance to actually say like, oh yeah, this is what I've been up to. Nigga, I remember I bought my house. Now I think you was kind of in the loop. I didn't know how it was going to work out or whatever, but nobody in my family knew, because my family, I almost went in. But my family everybody, not even my family, but people have a tendency to put their fears on you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, don't start that new business. Don't start that new job because this could happen or whatever. So like my family had a tendency, some of them, not all of them, had a tendency to do that. So, you know, I'm like, well, look, I take that back. It was one person. I'm like, cool. I'm not telling nobody nothing. Y'all will see when I invite y'all for the housewarming. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all it took was one person. So, so I am private like that, but it's not like because I don't want people to know what's going on with me, or it's not that I don't want, you know, to have people to celebrate and be joyous with, but it's just a role that I play. It's the role I played for so long that people don't ask me, you know, questions like that. So it's just, I just play my role. Like I'm not doing anything different or weird, but like we was talking about with your situation, just as you get older and you experience more things and you have a certain knowledge, just different knowledge about stuff, you know, you know, your thoughts are different or you move differently, you know. But it's not about changing. It's just about just a difference.
Yeah, but I can see not putting, you know, things on social media, like random people you don't care about knowing your business.
That's different.
But nigga, if you know, you got a new house, you bought a new house, that's a life-changing event. Like it's people out here that's 60 years old, never bought their first house.
Hey,
period.
All it took was one person. Like, man, you sure you want to do that right now? That's all I needed to hear. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is how I told my family. I'm like, I sent them the listing, and then I sent them me in front of the house with the sold sign or whatever. That's how I told them. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. That was me. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Don't you worry.
Hey, but the second thing I was gonna say is I watched this interview with Royce the 5'9", and if you don't know him, he's a rapper from Detroit, friends with Eminem, whatever. So him and Eminem was in the studio, and I guess Royce, you know, he was an alcoholic. You know, he had a drinking problem. So Eminem just said to him like, "Look, you know, I can see that. What do you say? I can see that you're struggling, you know, with alcohol. Seems like you're doing it. You know, seems like you're drinking a lot. If you need to talk to anybody, you know, I can help you out. I know how to help you out with that." So, like, most friends don't do shit like that. They continue to watch you destroy yourself. You know what I'm saying? But then secondly, Eminem, he been through that.
Yeah.
You know, recognize that somebody need help because he did that, you know, before with the pills he was taking and all the other drugs, whatever. And yeah, like most people not like that. They'll let you just drink and smoke every day of your life.
Watching you spiral, man. And
then wonder when you know when they at the funeral, like I just don't know what happened. Like they could have just stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a heart attack.
Yeah. You watch them do this to us, so that's like so even with your situation, and earlier Angela had said that she's glad that you're okay, and of course I am too. But it's like, what if you wasn't okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like not having knowledge, and I'm not saying like I'm as smart as I'm going to be at 22 or anything, but if it was more acceptable, you know what I'm saying, to talk about mental health, to talk about, mental challenges, nigga, in the neighborhood, nigga, like, you understand, like, niggas get PTSD where we come from. Like, niggas are really, like, mentally, like, war heroes, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Never been to war one time. You know what I'm saying? But we don't even talk about it in our neighborhood. Like, we don't even talk about it, man. It's crazy.
But I will give you credit. Well, especially your cousin, Antonio, because he was like,
hey.
Man, I don't know.
So I don't even know if you know, like, so this kind of just rewind a little bit. So this all around the same time where all this stuff was happening, and this was like part of the spiral. And so me and Byron, he was at my house, and we was about to go do the show or something, and we got into it or something. You might not even remember, like, you were just talking crazy, like for like days, maybe like weeks leading up to it. Like, you just talking crazy. And so he was at my house, and he had said something crazy. I think it was general conversation, but then you said something to like Antonio about like, nah, man, when we fight, I'm trying to hurt you or something like that. Like, I just wild, and we like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know what I'm saying? So, so we leave the house or whatever, and we was about to fight. Like, we was legit about to fight. You know what I'm saying? In the front yard. No, it was crazy.
Because that's because of the disrespect that came in.
Exactly.
You were saying something disrespectful. I ain't like it, so I was talking crazy.
Nigga, that whole shit was just wild. But
no, but as far as the other shit you was talking about, I already told you the reason for that. I ain't gonna say on air. But like I didn't know what was going on in that situation now. I mean, of course, both situations I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But that particular situation, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, damn, I'm talking crazy. I ain't used to talking this. I ain't used to talking this greasy, but you know,
everything was weird for sure.
But looking back on it, totally, I can change my ways. So I'm gonna say,
right, and that's
I'm just more smarter about things. So.
And that's what I'm about to say. Like, so the only thing I can hang my hat on is that, like, when your parents called, it was like you was in the hospital and shit. Like, I wasn't like, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Even though we had just gotten into it, you know what I'm saying? I went down. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even working at that hospital anymore, but they, I knew people, whatever. I'm like, could you, visiting hours, all this stuff. But I worked my magic, got in there. You know what I'm saying? And Elise was like, let me make sure you cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck going on? You know what I'm saying? So I'll at least, as a young person, hang my hat on that. Like, I wasn't just like, man, fuck that nigga. He in the hospital, fuck that nigga, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the lead up to it, nigga, I wish we had that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Where it wasn't so weird to say, hey, nigga, you probably should stop doing the stuff that you're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That you wilding right now. You know what I'm saying? But we just didn't know. We just didn't know. So because of that, and I just got a couple of questions just to wrap up. So, like, do you feel like being what you've been through, and just in general, you don't have to, corner it to like that situation or whatever, but like, do you feel like shame plays a big part in like the male psyche to ask for help? Like, sometimes, like, just as a male, like, you don't want to ask for help. Like, look, like women always make the joke about like guys not asking for directions and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to, have that shame. Like, yeah, this nigga was lost. Like, I was lost. I didn't know where I was going. I actually had to stop and ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, so do you feel like shame plays a big part in like the male psyche in general?
Look, I would most definitely say yes. I went through what I went through, right? And then you're gonna say, you're gonna say, you out, you out here, yada yada yada. I'm like, what you mean? Like how how am I supposed to control it? Like what you mean? Yeah, like I forced that upon myself. So now I'm like, damn, is that's why people say, that's why black people feel like they're shamed when it comes to anything mental health. Like first of all, you got to be strong just because you black, period. And then on the mental side, like your mental cannot be fucked up. It's negative to have anything mentally fucked up with you. Now, granted, nothing is mentally fucked up with me. I got to put that out there in the airways.
but like Chris Rock said, it's okay to not be okay. Like people that have mental stuff going on with it, they didn't ask for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they did something and now this is they like nigga clearly they wanted to be whatever 100% normal would be, like whatever that descriptive is. It's not like they was like, I don't want that. Give me something. I want to be off a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can put me over here. Like no one asked for that. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be like nobody asked to be, you know what I'm saying, whatever your skin tone is. Like nobody asked for no one asked for hair or no hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just shit that happens to it's nothing that you could do about it. Like nigga, it was built up for nigga, you was gonna lose your hair then, you know what I'm saying? Or you was gonna be XYZ then. Like it's no one asked for this stuff, so it shouldn't be like a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think I agree with you. I think shame plays a big part in it because they look, even on application for jobs, they tell you to mark if you have like mental stuff going on or whatever stuff. Like you have any of these disabilities or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just a line that's like, do you have any disabilities that would prevent you from doing the job? It's like, nigga, if you got any of this stuff on this list, mark it. You know what I'm saying? But why would I do that? Like, so you can not pick me, and of course they're like, oh, this is just, we just need to know. You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with your bearing, but of course it does.
Right.
Of course it does. Right. Like, so we can't even talk about having mental health stuff in the normal capacity. I'm not saying you run up to your boss like, hey, I'm I'm bipolar or whatever. Like, but to even, have the ability to be yourself and still, function in normal society, like you can't even talk about it. It's just crazy to me.
Hey, and I'm gonna say yes. The shame, yes, there is shame. Look at me. I won't even tell the whole story.
Nigga, yes. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to say it.
Like no, like it's just like it's no, not today. Hey, I'm not. I might tell you off air for the first time in 10 years.
Hey, listen to Whispers. That's all you need to know. Go to SoundCloud.
All right.
And listen to Whispers.
First of all, the song is fire. Secondly, the second verse is like, I mean, it's kind of not well. The end of the first verse and the second verse is not like accurate to now, so that's why I'm like, I don't really fuck with the lyrics. But at the time, like I'm going through it, like that's what was going on in my mind. But yeah, don't go check it out or check it out. It's up to you.
All right. So why do you think that men just stay? Why do you think that it's such a it's kind of a loaded question, but why do you think that men, what's your opinion on why men don't are not like allowed to be happy? I don't mean like happy like, I found some money, or like, I mean like genuine I'm sorry, not to be happy, but like to show happiness or joy. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas don't smile in pictures. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You could be having the best time of your life. You're like, man, like that was super cool. You know what I'm saying? But inside, you're like, nigga, that was amazing. Like, I never experienced nothing like that before in my life, blah, blah, blah. Like, why do you think that we have to like temper our excitement? And then on the other side, when you are like down or whatever, they're like, damn man, what you always sad and shit. Like, nigga, perk up. Like, you always sad. Like, so you're like,
I'm good.
Well, shit. Now I got to stay in the middle. Like, now I gotta just be good. Like, I can't be high and joyous, and I also can't be low. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why when women or anybody asks, like, man, how you doing? Like, oh, I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Just right in the middle. You know, I'm not great.
Was work?
I'm just good. It was work. It was good. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? So why do you think that is? Like, why do you think we can't show happiness or sadness for that matter?
Look, especially like I don't know. The happiness thing is weird. Like, you can't laugh at a joke and shit in public.
You see it though, right? I'm not wilding. Like, you see it.
But then on the flip side, it's cool to show aggression. Like, hey, even with Will Smith, that man didn't even look mad. Like, he went up there, smiled and smacked him, and was still smiling when he walked back to his seat. Then the only aggression when he said
keep my wife's name.
Dude, what's the G.I. Jane joke?
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Okay, dude, I got it.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, hey, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like, look, only niggas that say what's up these days, if you over the age of 50, like a random nigga in the street, I'm talking about. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey. That's it.
Look, I agree with you. Even like just complete strangers. Like, I got neighbors and stuff, and like their kids be like, you know, oh, like, you know, what's up? That's why I got the first OG. Like, what's up, OG? I'm like, God damn, nigga. How old am I? You know what I'm saying? But, there you go. When I got that first one, I'm like, oh my God, it happened. But, you know, those are my neighbors though. You know what I'm saying? But you absolutely right. On the street, you can nod to people these days, and niggas don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing happens. So
niggas like, what's up with this weird nigga?
Yeah, like
nodding at me. I don't know him.
And it's absurd. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I do like about riding a motorcycle is, for the most part, you get your super old people that these niggas don't wave to nobody. You know, Jeep people got their own.
It's a Jeep gang
or whatever. Yeah, whatever. You know, motorcycle people be like that too. But then it's like, if you're too old and you just hate everybody young and you just don't. It don't matter what kind of bike you're on. You don't wave at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but for the most part, if you got a motorcycle, people be waving because it's just, you know, it's our own unofficial club, you know what I'm saying? Which is super cool. But just as men, like, you can't, like, I implore somebody to just go, just walking down the street or at a mall or somewhere in public and just say what's up to, like, another guy. Like, it's just weird, you know what I'm saying?
Like if somebody, especially a younger guy, like, speaks to and everything, like your antennas is all the way up. Like, why are you speaking to me?
Why so much attention on me? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is this? What is this?
That's, I don't know. That's me. It's weird. But the older guy, hey, all right. You don't even think twice about the shit.
Yeah, I think that might be a generational thing, but for whatever reason, it seems to be. That seems to be the case. I don't know, man.
You know, that's why women say men are complicated. Like, they can't figure us out.
I mean, women are complicated. I can't wait to next week when we talk about women. Women are complicated too.
That's the show topic.
Yeah, we talk about women next week. Hey, and then for you guys that's super excited, the week after that, we're going to be doing the food challenge because this is episode 48, 148. So, all right, I got some shit over here, man. You're going to have to.
Everything that we discussed, I'm like, damn, that shit is tough. Like, it's a real live ass challenge, and it's like shit that I like to eat, and it's tough.
I got some stuff over here. Let's finish up with men, though. I just got two. I got a bunch more, but let's just take two more. So, all right, when you think about your mental health, right, just in general, on a daily basis or whatever, do you ever dig deeper than like, oh, I'm a little down. You know, like me and my lady, we usually do like where you on like on a scale from 1 to 10 or whatever, right? So clearly 5 is, you know, right in the middle, you know, and you know, we humans, you know what I'm saying? Scarface got this cold line in the song that he said I love. He's like, he said 1 minute you smiling, then the next you start crying because we can't accept that we born dying, which is in context of the song, it's an amazing line. You know, so sometimes you're just gonna have days where you're not at a 10 or a 9 or whatever, right? You know, but I like to be, and I like her to be over, at least over a 5. Like, man, you got to be at least in the green and on the good side to me. You know, it's not always feasible. You know what I'm saying? But for me, that's where I like her to be. That's where I like to be. Whatever, at least, you know, 6 and above, between 6 and 10. You know, but when you have those days where you are under 5, or you know, when you're at 2 or whatever on the list, do you ever dig deeper? Like, do you ever think like, not just say like, oh, I'm a 2 today. Do you ever dig deeper to like, why am I a 2 today? Like, do you ever dig deeper in yourself? And this not necessarily talking to other people, but just to yourself. Like, do you think about why you're feeling the way you're feeling?
Yeah, I remember. I just started like a year ago. I just started working out again, right? You know, so I was lifting weights and everything, and I just noticed like my aggression was just up. You know, so I just went to work on some evil shit, right? And I knew what was going on. I do because you know, I haven't been working out. My testosterone level, I know my testosterone levels are peaking right now, right? But I just couldn't stop being me. Like I'm talking about
to yourself or to the weights or to the people
no,
around you?
I'm talking about at work. Like I went on work just on some mean shit, and you know, coworkers like, what's wrong? Like you just acting mean to me. I just can't believe it. But I didn't want to say. Oh no, yeah, I was lifting weight. You know, my testosterone is up. Like I don't know. I'm actually in a good mood.
But I'm aggressive right now. Yeah,
but I'm just aggressive right now, and nigga, it was nothing I could do to get me out of that mood in that instance. But on a normal, regular, I'm not feeling good today. I just need quiet and peace, just to reset. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm even killed at it like all times. Like I really don't get too mad. I'm just in a good mood. People think I'll be in a bad mood because I'll be, you know, got a straight face most of the time. But nah. Cool. What's up? Where you been at? I had to go to your job because somebody hit my wife's car. I ain't see you. What's up? Like we needed spectacular customer service in that instance.
Oh man. All right. So I think for me, I think I never ask myself why am I feeling the way I'm feeling. I never do. Like I never dive deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because one, I feel like, all right, if I'm whatever it is that's making me feel this way, ultimately, like I said, I'm very logical. So ultimately, I'm in control, and you know, it's up to me to turn it around. Blah blah blah. You know, but it's up to me to do it though. You know what I'm saying? So I never really dive deeper, like, because ultimately, to me, mentally, it doesn't really matter where you are. What matter is coming out of it, you know what I'm saying, making sure that you're not dwelling too long, making sure that you're not tunneling too deep or whatever, making sure that you know, plateau where you are and start building yourself back up. Now, I can say that is no, this is the first time I ever said it verbally, and it doesn't sound healthy. You know what I'm saying? The first time I ever said it out loud, it doesn't sound like a healthy thing to do, but it's my process or whatever. But I never really dig deep to think of why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Um, One of my old school partners, like he be like, he a Gemini too. He like big into astrology and stuff. He's like, so he used to go gap before I see, between when I see him. Man, what kind of Gemini is you today? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you got going on today, man? What kind of Gemini is you? And you know, even if I can tell him, like, I can't be like, this is the reason. Not even this necessarily. This is the reason, but I don't even tell myself like, why am I feeling this way? I just like, whatever the reason is, we got to combat it. We got to come out of it. As you said, where did you go?
Here to your district. You know where. I ain't about to say on air.
Angel said, "You so logical. I'm surprised you don't dive deeper, even logically." Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that I don't dive deeper in that sense, to find out why. But I think I just bottom line it. Like, give me like, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is I like I don't know. It doesn't matter why. The bottom line is we need to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line for me. So you're not wrong, Angel. You're not wrong, but I very rarely do I dive deeper. And that's just me.
Hey, but yeah, I mean, everybody handles their emotions differently. Like if you're gonna be logical and not act out on your emotions, if somebody is just talking, whatever they saying, talking crazy. I mean, when you're dealing with other instances with yourself, you're gonna be the same. Like think it out logically. Like, why I'm mad and what happened.
Right.
Okay, let me throw in the hove.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The hove make me feel better with these lyrical lines and double entendres that he said. Okay, I feel good now. I'm in a good mood.
Or at the minimum enough to distract me to put me back onto the path of the stuff that actually matters. It's funny that you said that because I got 3 albums that like my go-to albums that I go to when I'm like feeling down or just below a 5 or whatever. I either go to the Jay-Z 444, and that shit's fire. The Kanye 808s because that shit is fire. Or the Tupac All Eyes on Me because man, he got some topics on there where he dive into kind of like the mental health, aspect of things, death or whatever. Like he go into some subjects on there, double disc album that's super slept on, even though it's not slept on. I always say it's slept on because it's just that's how amazing this is. The All Eyes on Me album for sure.
See, I like how these artists that's getting older are still coming out with albums because their subject matter changed, right?
Yeah.
Like we got older with them, so they just putting their wisdom in it. Like, damn. Or sometimes you'll listen to, one of their older albums, and you listen to it at the age they were when they made it. You like, oh, okay. I see now.
Absolutely. And I'll just throw out a song specifically to go along with those. It's a song by T.I. featuring Dave Chappelle, which is funny, but it's called Seasons. It's featuring somebody else too, but Dave Chappelle on it, he talking or whatever. But it's called Seasons. Like that's another go-to song. It just put a lot of stuff in perspective in regards to life and family and trying to live up to expectations. And just how the seasons change, as you go in and out of, life, like should just be different, as you progress. Like every season is just something different.
Yeah, that's like, like so, I'm 34 now. I'm getting older, and I'm just feeling old. Like,
damn,
like you got a month, nigga.
Shit.
But anyways. So I'm thinking like, I might be too old to do this and shit. And let's see, here come Hove. Like I've been focused since I said hi to 30. Y'all young niggas, y'all can't hurt me. Man.
Bars, man.
You better watch and observe me and learn how I earn better. I burn cheddar. Like, and that's set you in a good mood.
Yeah,
like, you right back on track.
I swear. Look, it doesn't take much, man, but the music does it for me for sure. All right, man. I got one more question. We're gonna get out of here. Let me find it. All right, so for those of you that don't know, somehow we're doing a mental health charity event June 25th. We're literally like 2 months away, 2 months and a day away from our event. So be sure to sign up at epiphany.5k.run. We're going to a 5K this weekend. Like I said, if you haven't seen our last episode, please go watch it. It's super good. We're talking with like an ex-Marine, and he talks about his challenges and his bounce back. Super good, man. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. But we're going to their race to not only sign up more people for our race, but to support and everything. And I think it's gonna be a great time. But for those of you that don't know, we're putting up our event June 25th for mental health awareness, like just in general. So please come out and support and do your thing. As far as signing up or volunteering, like all that good stuff helps. If you know somebody that might be interested, a company, a business that might be interested in sponsors, please let us know. And we'll be sure to get in contact with them. But Byron, so my question to you is, Angel said, come walk, donate, charity event, June 25th, 5K for sure. I love the support. But my question
two. What's that?
2 months in a day.
Yeah, to get in shape.
2 months in a day. Yeah, nigga, right, to get in shape. So my question to you is, so not only the original question was like, what are you hoping to take away after the event, like going through the process after the event? But I just want to add on to that. So not only after the event, but after all these conversations that we've had. We're doing a men's show this week. We're doing a women's show next week. Last week, it wasn't veteran specific, but that, like I said, that's something that we didn't incorporate because neither me or you are veterans or whatever. But what are you expecting, or what are you hoping to take away from this experience of like just diving deeper into mental health, leading up and after our event?
Well, first of all, after bringing awareness to the city, I would still like to have shows like this. Here, I mean, the trauma series was the start of it. We already gave the people things about ourselves, but now it's time to bring awareness, for what other people going through. Like you said, last show, we gave you a little insight of what someone who's in the armed forces, what they go through. So there's many other facets we can explore with this, because this is something that everybody goes with. Whether you're in the armed forces or you grew up in an abusive household. So, I just want to continue to, push this initiative, and hopefully we can have it, have a second annual. We still ain't do the second annual yet. Like I would love to say the second annual, because if you do another one, that means you did a one before. Shit,
it's tough, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's tough, but I agree with you.
It's tough doing anything, but like, how many people that can say, "Oh, we had a bowling charity event"? Like, the list is small. The list is like the radio or some shit, and then they the radio, so they don't even count. Them niggas got a whole ass budget.
Exactly, I agree. Angel said, "It's important, fellas." She said, "I lost a old coworker this week, and it was a tragedy. that didn't have to happen. So awareness. Yeah, so that's a terrible situation. But yeah, it just like it don't have to happen, man. And I know like Wild Ops is veteran specific or whatever, but vets commit suicide at a crazy high rate. Men in general, but vets commit suicide at a crazy high rate. Like, so it's definitely help out there. You just gotta kind of make the first step, or expose yourself so people can come bring the help to you, because it is super important, man. It's a lot of stuff that happened, to us, as people or whatever, and then to people that's going through things that can be solved with a conversation. I don't want to say solved, sorry, but it could be addressed through a conversation. Having that sense of community, especially, it's kind of a sidebar, but men, I think, thrive in like a sense of community. You know what I'm saying? So not that it even got to be all the time, but like the pandemic kind of stopped people from going out. And so I was reading the thing, and it was like men have like shoulder to shoulder relations, is what they call it.
What does that mean?
Weird. It sounds weird. Like when you're sitting at a bar or something, like you typically shoulder to shoulder, right? You sit next to each other. When you at a football game or a baseball game, you typically sit next to each other. You shoulder to shoulder, like you're shoulder to shoulder type of like situation when it comes to like experiences and just being. So you might not talk about what you're thinking about, but when you go to a cigar bar, you're sitting next to somebody, and y'all shoulder to shoulder for the most part, or across the table, but y'all shoulder height, just across from each other. And I never thought about that, because I'm perfectly fine being, off by myself. But every once in a while, you have the need or whatever to be, to want to be. It sounds so strange, to want to be, like in a community, in a communal situation or whatever. Whatever that might be. Even if you by yourself, technically, if you go to a cool environment, like let's say you go to a cigar bar, you technically are by yourself. But everybody in there, y'all smoking cigars. Y'all got that in common, whatever it is that you're going on. Like, but that sense of community, like we all doing this together, or we all ride motorcycles together, or whatever the case is. Even though technically you're here by yourself, like men are like built on that. Like studies or whatever, scientifically, men are built on that.
Look, that's why I like Reddit, because like you may be into something that nobody around you is into.
Hey, Reddit be crazy. Hey, literally, whatever it is that you interested in, whatever it is, whatever topic, somebody else is also interested in it. But that's great, though. That's what we kind of need as men. Like, we need to know that we're not alone when we feel a certain type of way, or that when, we have these thoughts, that we're not the only person in the world having these thoughts. Like, it's not. That's a beauty thing about as bad as the internet is, like the beauty parts of it is that you can have that sense of community with somebody, clear across the country, clear across the world, because y'all have that in common. Y'all have, the sense of, I'm not the only person that feels this way. I'm not a weirdo, no matter what Emmanuel said on Epiphany Media, I'm not weird. There's a bunch of us that feel this way. There's a bunch of us that think this way or react this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like that's the beauty part of the internet. But it's for sure, like men need that sense of community. You know what I'm saying? That's why men have all the clubs. You know what I'm saying? There's women clubs too, but that's why men have clubhouses. You know what I'm saying? Moose lounges and fraternities and all that. All this stuff. Like they need that sense of community, man. They need that sense of community. So,
Thing.
Huh?
Remember that spot on 116th I told you, where it's men only.
That's weird though. I get it, but that's weird. That is it. That's exactly it. But they was talking about some unsavory stuff going on in there. I don't know if I want to be a part of that.
The towel only.
I don't know if I want to be a part of the towel only society. I don't know if I want to be a part of that.
You're trying to eat that towel.
They're like eating like Italian sausages. I don't know if I want to be a part of that, but I get it though. You want to have a sense of community of people who are like-minded. I completely understand it. I know I just said a bunch of stuff, but what I'm hoping to take away, like from the event and the lead up into the event, is one. Of course, I want to learn something, especially next week. I want to learn more about women and their mental health struggles. So it helped me. So not only in my relationship, but my relationship with my mom or my sister or my nieces, like just to help me understand the challenges that women go through, and so everything. I just want to learn more. I want to learn more how to interact with people in not such an abrasive way, how to realize that feelings are a big part of things as well as logic. Like, it's not just logical, even though I know it, but sometimes I have a hard time turning it off or whatever. So I'm just interested in learning more, putting on a great event, and then eventually having a second annual, awareness event or whatever. But it all starts with the first one. So please come out and support us. Share with all your friends. For those of you that watch or listen to the podcast, if you go to epiphany.5k.run, when you sign up, if you use the word podcast as your promo, then you get an extra $4 or $5 off. Don't quote me because I don't remember, but use the word podcast, you get extra money off. And then you also can share on your friends list. I want to say on Facebook, and that'll take an extra $2 off as well. So come out to support us. We appreciate the people that did support us. We appreciate our sponsors for sure. And like I said, we're about 2 months away, and we still need more help, to make this thing a success. So be sure to do that as soon as you can. We appreciate it for sure.
Yes, we do. And we will see y'all on June 25th for the charity walk. And my fellow guys, be sure to take care of your mental health. Go talk to somebody if you need it. Other than that, y'all know, remember to own your own. Talk about stuff like this, but don't exactly do this because y'all ain't gonna be good as it.
I was gonna say we'll head down to crush y'all on general principle. Hey man, so salute to the city as always. You guys be safe. Had a good week. We're looking forward to talking to y'all next week. As we hit the 2-hour mark, we haven't did 2 hours in a long time. But thank you. We appreciate you guys, and like I said, we'll talk to y'all next week.
Hey, wake up. Hey, I got tickets for sale for my 5K for mental health. Did you buy them yet?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm signing up right now. I'm about to sign up right now.
Hey, Baker gonna throw another interception. Did you buy tickets to the 5K yet?
Yeah. No. I got you. I'm gonna sign up.
Come on, man. I know you bought tickets to the 5K. Tell me you bought tickets.
Man, I'm about to get them right now, I promise. Oh. See, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Go! Well, at least you can save $2 off if you post it on your social media.